to activate, I'm going to rub the palms together. That's warm. Bring your hands to the heart space. I'm just taking a few breaths. Acknowledging all the chatter, the mental chatter, any worry, any distractions coming up. Acknowledging the part of you thinking right now. And acknowledging the part of you observing your thoughts. Welcoming that part of you to be completely acknowledged in this moment, to be welcomed in, to be illuminated. I think of this part of myself as awareness, or the universe. And if that's not effective, you can imagine light coming down through the crown of your head as you breathe in. Hold your breath for a moment and just imagine that light filling the whole shape of your body. Then as you exhale, breathe it out onto your fingertips. Breathing in, filling the whole shape of your body. And breathing out onto your fingertips. Welcoming that part of you, the awareness, part of you observing this moment. While also being aware of the sensation of the weight of your body making contact with earth. Feeling in the room, the temperature in the room, the taste in your mouth, any smells, any light coming in through the eyes, the eyelids, sound of my voice, the sounds in the room. Bringing yourself into this moment over and over again by just being present. And we'll bring our hands over the eyes and forehead. Just giving the observer permission to release anything that's causing fear, anger, discomfort. Not so that we can bypass it, but so that we can come back to it clear-headed, proactive, and pragmatically. Just giving permission to take some space for now. You can really allow the breath to support you here with deep breaths in and slow breaths out. Deep breaths in and slow breaths out. Imagine hands for a warm compress, just staying at your eyes and forehead. And very slowly, without rushing, gently remove your hand. And then we'll bring them down to the ears and jawline. Clearing away any mental blocks, stuck ways of thinking. Making space for deeper listening and understanding. Allowing your breath to support you here. And imagining the exhales helping to release resistance, discomfort. The inhales filling you up with ease. The exhales releasing and letting go of tension. Just taking your time here. Again, imagining that you're leaving something energetically at the ears and jaw, the warm compress or your hands. Without rushing, very, very slowly lifting the hands off the ears, off the jaw. We'll take our hands very gently at the collarbones and the throat. Clearing away anything that no longer feels aligned. You might have said, any ways that you've acted that no longer feel useful or helpful. Making space for right action. You're speaking. Selective use of your self-expression. Letting your breath support this process. And very gently lifting the hands. Taking your time. And we'll take our hands down to the chest. Clearing away grief, disappointment, stuckness in the heart space, resentments, pain. Making space for healthy boundaries. loving kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and joy. Letting your breath support this process. Not rushing it to happen in this moment. Taking your time to release the hands and coming down to the solar plexus area right above your belly button. Clearing away existential angst, anxiety, fear. Lack of control, self-doubt. Making space for courage, purposefulness, sense of self-knowing and loving. Very gently, slowly lifting your hands and bringing them down to the hip points, the lower belly, sacral center. Clearing away reactiveness, emotional discomfort, spiritual bypass, numbing, chronic soothing. Toxic creativity. Making space for emotional harmony and balance. Aligned creativity. Healthy coping. Easeful self-care. You can take your hands to your outer hips and we'll just keep working with that intention, helping to clear away any stuck anger, pain on the emotional level. using the breath to support this process. Letting your hands move slowly, lifting gradually, taking them down to your knees, the caps of the knees. Clearing away ungroundedness, distraction. Hatred. Lack of belonging. Fear of our neighbors, our community, our society. Making space for safety, belonging, communal security. Peaceful society. Comfortable home base. Continuing this work down at the ankles and feet. Take your time to get there. Just continuing to work on a sense of groundedness. Using your breath to support you here. Keeping the hands on the feet just a moment longer and then gradually lifting the hands away. And if you can, taking your hands down onto the floor. Our larger body, our shared body, the earth. Clearing away misinformation. Divisiveness, violence, injustice. Calling in peace. Harmony, health, rebirth. whatever else comes to mind in this moment. Leaving your energy on the floor, on the earth, very, very slowly lifting your hands. You'll take one hand to the forehead, one hand to the back of the head. Clearing away toxic use of our imagination. Whatever that means for you. Creating space for insight, inspiration, proactive use of the imagination. Slowly transitioning to the crown of your head. Clearing away a lack of faith. In yourself, humanity, our neighbors. Calling in hope, spirit, even more inspiration, clarity, solutions, guidance, whatever else you need in this moment. And we'll release the hands once again, slowly. Taking your time, of course. Bringing your hands to the gasho position at the heart space, feeling your spine tall, noticing the outline of your body's weight connecting you to the earth, temperature in the room, any sounds, taste, smell, any light coming in through the eyelid. Noticing your breath again. Part of you that is aware of all of this beyond the thinking mind. Your higher self. Being there still for a moment. Breathing naturally. Taking it all in. Again, we'll remember the principles. Just for today, I will let go of worry. Just for today, I will let go of anger. Just for today, I will be thankful for my many blessings. Just for today, I will be kind to all beings, including myself. Just for today, I will do all of my work and actions honestly. Thanking the teachers and Reiki masters who brought us this form of practicing. Thanking the obstacles in our life that bring us to our practice. Thankful for our community, the technology that can bring us together in this moment. The desire to be helpful, to do what is best. And offering our time together to the benefit of all beings, that our lives in some way will positively impact the lives of others. You can lift your prayer up to your forehead and bow to your heart, to each other. Okay. So I think something that's really interesting when we, go about meditation in the body way, like that, is just seeing what comes up in each center, and we can kind of feel into, there's so much information. It's always kind of chaos, right? And then we bring it all together at the end in the gasho, and then it just helps us kind of remember the part of us that's consistent. The consistent aspect of ourselves is that awareness in the back of our consciousness. And sometimes we need to come into our body first so that we can access that. And that's why I think Reiki is such a powerful practice, because it gives us the opportunity to really come into the body. But it's the moment here at the end that I think is more powerful than any of the other stuff. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Have a good night. I'm going to unmute you for a second if I can figure out how to. I don't think I know how. Let's see. You might have to unmute yourself.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay.
How do you feel?
A lot better.
Good.
A lot better. That was very centering.
Good. Yeah, and you know what's really cool? It's like Reiki, the Reiki practice is always pretty powerful.
Yeah.
When we actually sit down to do it. But when we do it together,
yes,
it's just so different.
It really is. It
It's
really
like
is.
a whole different thing.
It really is.
So thank you so much for being here and giving me the opportunity to practice with somebody.
Thank you for the same. Thank you for offering this. It was really serendipity that I saw that post. I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
To Spirit and to you so much for offering this.
I think I'm going to move it back to maybe 7 p.m. because the 6 o'clock time doesn't seem to be super popular.
Okay.
In the future. And don't worry, any donation is fine. As long as I have people here, I'm happy.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been really rough lately, so. Yeah, I would love to participate in the future more. I need to stay connected to the community, and I don't have it elsewhere. So
yeah, Yes, especially right now.
Yeah.
All
Super.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole.
And if you have anything else you want to talk about, feel free to reach out to me whenever.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I do want to talk to you soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want a Reiki too. I can't wait. I know you just had the class. I hope you had a wonderful experience with your